Everything you are about to watch was generated on one computer sitting in my office. No cloud, no render farm, no per-clip fees. The characters come from a LoRA I trained overnight on my own artwork. The still frames come from a local image model. The motion comes from an open video model driving those frames. The narration is the only thing I bought. It is a 6-minute children's episode, and it costs nothing to produce. Watch it first, then stay to the end, and I will show you exactly which models did what, and the 4 ways this pipeline tried to sabotage me.
At the sunny end of Honeydew Hollow, there is a garden, and in the garden, there is a row of tomato vines. And on one of those vines, there lived a small tomato called Tommy. Tommy was not red yet. He was a soft green gold all over, with one small blush of orange low on his cheek, like the first pink at the edge of a morning. On either side of him hung his neighbors, and his neighbors were enormous, and his neighbors were red. "Today," said the big tomato on his left, "is picking day." Tommy felt something go tight in his middle. He had been waiting for picking day for his whole small life. Down the row came the basket. It was wide and woven and warm from the sun. And one by one, the big red tomatoes let go of the vine and went into it with a soft thump and lay there together, shining. The basket came closer. It stopped underneath Tommy. And then it moved on. "Not that one," said a voice above him. "That one isn't ready." Not ready. Tommy watched the basket go all the way to the end of the row without him. He looked down at himself, at all that green, and at the one small blush that had taken him 3 whole weeks. "I could be ready," said Tommy. "I am nearly ready. I am ready enough." So Tommy decided to hurry. First, he tried leaning. He leaned as far into the sunshine as a small tomato can lean, all morning, until his stem ached and the light went white and hot. He did not turn red. He turned warm and a little bit sore. Then he tried holding his breath, which does nothing at all, but he tried it for a long time. Then he tried wishing very hard with his eyes shut. When he opened them, he was exactly the same color as before. And that was when Tommy had his idea, and it was a bad one. "The basket," thought Tommy. "The red ones are in the basket. If I get in the basket, then I will be one of the red ones." The basket was sitting at the end of the row in the shade. Tommy looked at his stem, the little green stem that had held him since he was smaller than a pea, and he pulled. And he pulled. And with a small green snap, Tommy let go. He landed in the basket among the big red tomatoes, and he rolled once and settled and waited to become one of them. He waited a long time. The sun went round, the shade came over, the basket grew cool, and Tommy stayed green. Because a tomato does not ripen in a basket. A tomato ripens on the vine, where the vine can feed it quietly, from the roots up, the whole time it is waiting. Tommy had not made himself ready. He had only made himself finished. He was still lying there when something small and russet came over the rim of the basket with its whiskers first. It was Pip, the field mouse, with one blue flower behind her ear. "You're the green one," said Pip. "I'm the green one," said Tommy. Pip looked at him for a moment. Then she put her nose against him and pushed. She pushed him up the side of the basket, which took a very long time. She pushed him over the rim and down into the grass and along the whole length of the row, stopping twice to sit down and breathe. And at the end of the row, she pushed him in under his own vine into the warm, loose earth right at the foot of it, where a broken stem could reach the roots again. "There," said Pip. Tommy lay in the earth under his vine and felt something he had not felt in the basket at all. Something slow, something coming up from underneath. "It's so slow," said Tommy. "It's supposed to be," said Pip. So Tommy waited. He waited while the mornings came and went. He waited while the blush on his cheeks spread a little and then a little more, and then all the way around. He did not lean. He did not hold his breath. He did not wish. He just stayed where he was being fed and let it happen. And on a gold afternoon at the end of the summer, when the second basket came down the row, a hand reached in under the leaves and lifted Tommy out, and a voice above him said, "Now that one's ready."
These two birds are sisters. Watch what happens when I ask an AI to draw them, before I taught it who they are. That's not Eliza. That's not Liv. That's a stranger in a bird costume, and one of them isn't even black. Here's the problem nobody warns you about. AI video models are brilliant at style and terrible at memory. Every single shot, your character quietly becomes a slightly different character. New eyes, new shape, new vibe. So I stopped asking nicely, and then I trained the model instead. This is 12 hours, compressed, 21 checkpoints, one machine in my office, running while I slept. Step 200. The paint shows up. Paper grain, ink line, the whole storybook look. Step 400. Okay, those are finally crows. And somewhere past 1,000, the thing I actually cared about locks in. The ribbons stop moving. Blue on Eliza, red on Liv. Every take, every angle, every time. That's the whole trick. I wasn't training a style. I was training an identity. What came out is a LoRA, an adapter about 400 megabytes. It doesn't replace the video model. It hands it a memory. Same adapter, completely different character, no extra training. And then it makes this total cost? Nothing. No cloud, no API bill, no dollar per clip, just a computer that worked the night shift.